Hello everyone and welcome to another Timeless video. So today we're going to be taking a look at the Dimir Phoenix deck in Timeless format. So this list comes from Frosty Boy from Reddit, and I have made a very slight change to the deck so that we can have 2 copies of Surgical main deck, and we're going to be talking about that in just a minute. So how this deck works: Arclight Phoenix is a red color card, but most of our land base is completely ignoring the red color. And we're only playing 3 copies of Arclight Phoenix, which might question the deck's credibility. But the reason why we are playing 3 copies of Arclight Phoenix, and that's because we are playing this card called Buried Alive. This is a reprint from Modern Horizon 3, and this is a 3-mana sorcery that puts up to 3 creature cards and putting them into the graveyard. So having a 4th copy of Arclight Phoenix, we don't really care about that, since the entire deck really just wants to get the Phoenix out on turn 1. So how do we do that on turn 1? If you have multiple Dark Rituals into Buried Alive, you could theoretically get the Arclight Phoenix out on turn 1. But if you have Dark Ritual into Buried Alive and Surgical Extraction as well, you could also get the Arclight Phoenix out on turn 1. Now, it does kind of feel bad that you do have to waste a Surgical on your own Dark Ritual, and that's where this Grief comes in. If you have Grief in your hand as well, the first thing you do, you Grief to get cards out of the way that could potentially endanger the Arclight Phoenix, and then you Dark Ritual into Buried Alive, into a Surgical Extract, and get rid of a card from opponent's graveyard. The original deck list didn't have Surgical Extract in the main deck. I just wanted to up the consistency of a turn 1 Arclight Phoenix. That's why I decided to play 2 copies of Surgical Extraction in the main deck. And let's say if your Arclight Phoenixes are stuck in your hand without any red sources, that's where the Psychic Frog comes in, getting rid of Arclight Phoenix into the graveyard so that you can also try to get them out on a single turn. So having said that, I'm going to be hopping over to some Timeless Best of 3 to show you guys how the deck does. So let's hop on over. That's something else, let me tell you. Yeah, that is something else. No, we drew the Arclight Phoenix! Are you kidding me? I am extremely upset. And they also have a Solitude, it seems. Wow, I can't believe we drew Arclight Phoenix. I think we still do it, right? Is it even good going for double Arclight Phoenix here? I guess we do also get an Orcish Bowmaster out. Like, it's not the worst. Should I put another card into the graveyard? I'm gonna say no. I think that was still good. Yeah, I think that was still decent. Double Phoenix, you know. How can we, like... How can we hate on that? Let's put the Phoenix back. Let's also put... this one in here. Let's Grief. So there's one Solitude. I think we just get rid of a Brainstorm. And I think I'm actually going to top this Brainstorm as well. And then use it for next turn. Or I could just play out the Psychic Frog as well. I guess that's acceptable. Ah, that's pretty lucky. Okay, that was kind of sick. We actually would have literally ended their career had we just not drawn the third Arclight Phoenix, but we did. Think they are probably playing Falage. Actually, I don't know. They're playing Mystic Sanctuary, but at the same time, they have Arena of Glory. It's a really, like, usually you see either or, like, you don't see both. Actually, it could just be a Jeskai control. Yeah. Maybe Drown. I don't think Spell Snare, like, yeah, sure, they could have, like, a Mana Drain, but I think we just work with the Surgicals and Drown. Or should I go Surgicals and Test of Talent? Or I could even go instead of Fatal Push. Yeah, let's go Drown and maybe a copy of a Spell Pierce. Maybe not even Spell Pierce. I think I'm actually gonna consider. Okay, we got Psychic Frog. And a Reanimate. Reanimate's always sick. Brainstorm. Does this make you shuffle? It does. I mean, clearly they have an insane hand, right? Because they kept a 7-card hand. And like, let's say if they put... I don't think they would put a land on top, but... Let's see. Let's see what happens. Oh, getting rid of a Flotch seems awesome, actually. I'm gonna do it now because I want to shuffle. They played 3 Flodge, 2 Dig. They even played Teferi and 1 Ring. 4 mana drains with double Hearse. Triple Hearse. Triple Hearse. Unfortunately, this is a tap land. Imagine it wasn't. I'm actually gonna keep that so we can go Grief into Psychic Frog next turn. That's actually sick. So my opponent keeps it. So we go Grief. Then we're gonna play the Psychic Frog. Awesome. And now we're about to recoup all the cards that we lost with the Psychic Frog. Yeah, this deck seems sick. Not playing out their Mystic Sanctuary. Kind of surprised. I think I should keep this Dark Ritual. Ooh. Well, well, well. Look what we got here. Next turn should be awesome, isn't it? We're about to get 3 Phoenixes out with this play. I think we keep it. If it's energy, it's actually not that good for us. Let's brainstorm to see what we get. No lands. That's actually really bad, isn't it? So next turn is just going to be a Fatal Push. Yeah, this is not looking good. At least we have a Consider. Renegade Rallier. That's a good pickup. If a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn, return it to battlefield. I see. So they would need, you know, another fetch land if they want to activate the Revolt trigger. Fortunately... Well, I was gonna say, fortunately... We're not in a bad spot, but... Let's Fatal Push that. I think we just passed the turn here. Ah, nice top deck. Amazing top deck, actually. Yeah, pretty amazing top decks there. We did find a land. That's good. Did find a land. Amazing. Another amazing top deck. Okay. My opponent is actually just gaming here. We drew really bad. Yeah. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we go for Demonic Tutor. Hopefully they just don't draw another creature, and hope to God that they actually draw something that's not a creature. Back to back to back, right? They drew an Ampthraptor into... They drew a Johnny into Ampthraptor into Voice of Resurgence. It's just too much at that point. Why are they doing that? Oh, just to get energy here. Maybe we're just dead, right? Yeah, maybe we're just dead. Man. Our brainstorm was bad. Their top decks were good. Nothing worked out this game. Nothing worked out this game, didn't it? I'd have to use a Thoughtseize, so I go to 2. Okay, Toxic Deluge. Unfortunately, they're actually playing a build with the Voice of Resurgence, similar to the version that we played. I mean, that card is just absolutely broken in this matchup. Spell Snare, excellent. I don't think we're gonna play more than 2 copies of Surgical. Maybe Surgical is actually not bad. Yeah, I don't think I'm supposed to cut Grief, even though Grief is kind of bad against them. Just because of the kind of deck that we're playing. Yeah, Surgical, normally it's not very good against creature decks, but because we're playing this deck with Arclight Phoenix, that's why I think it's like just really good in general, but yeah, maybe not. Okay, I'll cut 2 Griefs. We're missing... Man, we do have Dark Ritual into Buried Alive, but we have a Swamp. Yeah, I guess I could go Ritual into Toxic Deluge. I think I should keep it because if I draw a land, I can reanimate the 3 Phoenix here. But if not, we can stall the game by going Dark Ritual into Toxic Deluge. Ah. Am I gonna brick 2 games in a row? I mean, this one I kind of asked for, but... That's what I mean, right? When I was sideboarding, like, Surgical is so good for that matter. It is so good. Nah, this isn't it. This ain't it. This ain't it. Maybe I should have just reanimated. Renegade Rallier. I don't know. Love to see it. I think we should just bury it alive. Goblin Bombardment. Oh no. I didn't see that coming. Okay, at least we got something to do here. So Ritual, Buried Alive into Reanimate. Seems okay. Yeah, it seems okay. We get 3 Arclight Phoenixes. It's 9 damage. Yeah, that was pretty good. The Goblin Bombardment is not cool though. Especially like the fact that like this deck doesn't have any like Pitting Needles or Flutes in the sideboard. It's a little bit tricky, isn't it? That also makes Toxic Deluge really bad. Am I supposed to use the Brainstorm here? Or should I save it for Arclight Phoenix Reanimate? Swords. Tough. Tough. They got a Flodge coming. We don't really have much here. Yeah, the Goblin Bombardment was outside of my expectation. Wah, wah, wah. So we can Spell Snare and Bowmaster. Or just play out the Psychic Frog here. Probably just the Psychic Frog and pass the turn. Psychic Frog becomes 5 power if I discard 4 cards, but the fact that they're animating Flodge, they go back up to 8. Tough game. Tough game. Ah, we drew another land. I think that's over, right? Unless I attack with the Psychic Frog and I draw a Fatal Push. Maybe we have a standing chance here. Oh my god. This is literally the worst card in the deck. Yeah, Toxic Deluge is literally the worst card in the deck. Sure. Unfortunate. Yeah, Toxic Deluge happens to be the worst card in the deck here. If they're doing this, why not just attack with the Amped Raptor? I mean, I don't know. Maybe, another one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they got another one. So we're just dead. Okay. GG's. I'm not sure how this deck beats that deck. Okay, we're just missing one card. Another one of these decks, isn't it? Ooh, so we can grief here? So you're telling me I can grief here. I don't think I want to take damage with the Thoughtseize, so I'll just grief. Unstable Amulet, and that. It's a good pickup. That's a good pickup. Short. I mean, I will say that is a pretty sick pickup they got there. No attacks. Ragavan, huh? I'm just going to attack with this and pass the turn. Because they're gonna most likely bring the Loris back into the hand, right? It would have been sick if we actually drew another land there. But this also works out. Nurturing Pixie! Return up to one target non-fairy, non-land permanent you control to its owner's hand. I did not expect that. Doesn't have flash, right? Okay. Okay, am I supposed to... So after losing last game, I brought in some Aatroxas. So let's see how that goes. They're playing Loris, by the way, so we don't have to worry about Flodge. Spell Snares in. Fatal Push in. Let's get rid of a Surgical. Let's get rid of Thought Seizes. And let's get rid of a copy of a Consider. Shall we? Gotta reanimate. Got a Toxic Deluge. Got a Toxic Deluge and a reanimate. Wow, bottoming an Unstable Amulet. It's kind of crazy. Guide of Souls was actually pretty good. Grief. I wonder if it's just Orcish Bowmaster here. I mean, I already have a board wipe for Toxic Deluge, so... Maybe I'm just passing? I don't know. Let's see what they do. A Johnny. Don't like that.
I will prove my worth to my pride.
This might be a waste, but we'll see. Okay, it looks like they have like some kind of a removal spell. I'm gonna force it out. Nice. Now we can Toxic Deluge. Nice! Although we are drawing like infinite lands here, which is not something that we want to see, by the way. We don't want to see an infinite land here. That's not something that you want to see. And they put the Loris back into the hand. How many times do I have to teach you, old man? Boom. Unstable amulet. Another static. That's pretty good. It actually might be just reanimate plus grief here. So let's get back a Loris, right? I mean, if they want to give me back my grief. Okay, they did. Pretty insane, actually. Both of us just drawing infinite lands. Like, look at this. Yeah, both of us each drew 6 lands. I'm not really a big fan because I can't reanimate the grief, but on the other hand, I can kind of recoup with the Psychic Frog here after I grief my opponent a bit. Also, my opponent doesn't have I might actually regret this a lot. But if it's an Omnitel, which I think they are playing, by the way, so I'm gonna get rid of a Fatal Push. And it's not. Yikes. Yikes. I think I'm gonna get rid of a Lauren Revealed. And hopefully they don't draw land. No, they drew on the Deathray Shaman! Lands? Okay, this really sucks, doesn't it? So, I mean, I can go Grief here. Yeah, this sucks, doesn't it? Do I keep playing under the impression that they're never gonna draw a land? I think so. No! Okay, at least it's a tap land. At least it's a tap land. My god. So they're gonna Demonic Tutor for a land, maybe? My god. How are they getting away with this? Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I mean, Oko's not even that good here. Sheoldred's Edict? Is that really what they got? I refuse to believe it. Yeah, I refuse to believe it. Like, there's just no way. I'm pretty sure they got a land, right? The reason why I sacrifice a Psychic Frog is because there is a chance that they actually grabbed, with the Demonic Tutor, a Fatal Push. Okay, so Oko is dead.
Gaze into my face and put on your true shape.
I guess we don't have to do it now. Buried alive.
I see you don't share my vision.
Very nice. A test of talent main deck looking a little bit suspicious, doesn't it? Very suspicious. Test of talent main deck. So it's not great that they actually saw my Arclight Phoenix. I want a copy of a Spell Pierce. I want a copy of Spell Snares. And I think I would want 2 copies of Drown as well. So I mean, Grief is a really good card versus them. I don't know if I want Fatal Push, to be honest with you. I guess I am cutting copy of a Spell Snare, a Bowl Master, and I'll cut a copy of Consider. Let's go. We are missing one card that makes this hand really good. Either a Grief or Buried Alive. I might be gambling too much. Like, I've been kind of gambling a lot. I think I'm gonna mulligan. Oh, that's really bad. Oh, that's really bad. That's really bad. No way. I guess I should have kept the first one. Apparently. Stone of Eric. This is really good if they have a counter spell. So... Okay, I think I'm just going to run the Grief out. Sheoldred's Edict and Orcish Bowmasters. Well, these are not very good for me. Yeah, I just hope that they don't just fire off Sheoldred's Edict on their turn. Too smart. Too smart. Okay, land was actually really good. Now I can go Bowmaster plus Spell Snare. Gonna let that stick. Gonna take the damage. Put it on there. Veil of Summer. Interesting. That's really good because I can't even counter with the Spell Snare here. Grief. Okay. We are pretty far away from reanimating Phoenix, I'm not gonna lie. Run out the grief. They do play mana drain. They drew another One Ring. Wish they had it when I fired off my Dark Ritual there. Then we would actually won the game for sure. Okay, GG's. So, Spell Snare in. Bowmaster seems more important than ever. Surgical Extract. I think I'm just going to bottom get rid of a Surgical Extract. I think I'm gonna get rid of a Consider. And... I'm gonna cut out Demonic Tutor. Dark Ritual. I'm gonna brainstorm now in case I get a grief. Oh no. Worst possible situation. Oh, we got buried alive though. But I can't. I don't have enough mana. Yeah, I think we lost this one. Yeah, really unfortunate draws today, right? Our Brainstorm brick twice. Right? Yeah, our Brainstorm brick twice today. Just this game is over. I don't see how we win. And we also had the mulligan down to 4 in one game. Just really bad games today. Let's get the Psychic Frog in so I can perhaps like reanimate. Double Deathrise Shaman. Come on, land. You hate to see it. Very unlucky today. Probably a Sheoldred's Edict. They've been playing Sheoldred's Edict all day. Demonic Tutor for a land, probably. No? Oh, we got it! Dark Ritual. Dark Ritual. Thoughtseize? What would you get? You got a Fatal Push. What? Let me get the Phoenixes out though. Oh my god. Like, you don't even know what I have. So what's gonna happen here is we Thoughtseize away their Fatal Push, I guess, here, and then, or Stone of Eric. We discard the Arc-like Phoenix to the Psychic Frog, and then we Buried Alive for the other Psychic Frogs. And maybe we might actually get another Psychic Frog out, or... Actually, yeah, for the third creature for the Buried Alive, since we already have a Phoenix here, we can get a Grief out and then reanimate. Oh man, that's so sick. Okay, so we played 4 games, and we lost to a Naya Energy. It seems the Naya Energy seems so rough because of a Voice of Resurgence. Since even after a Toxic Deluge, they can just get a creature back. It's just so bad for us. Also, like, we kind of got unlucky today too, right? We bricked on Brainstorm twice. That actually might be because we are only playing 8 copies of fetch lands. So in order to reduce that, we could just go like one less copy of Darkslick Shore and maybe add one more copy of another fetch land. So yeah, we got Brainstorm Lock twice today, which isn't fun, but it is what it is. And I think we actually were able to get off the Buried Alive combo like maybe 3 times today. And a couple times my opponent just surrendered before I could even get this out. Yeah, this deck is pretty cool. It's fresh, it's new, and it seems like it has a very good potential of being a really degenerate deck, which might actually work better in best of 1. Contrary to the original deck list, I am playing 2 copies of Surgical main deck just because I wanted to up the consistency of turn 1 Arclight Phoenix with the Dark Ritual into Buried Alive, and then you put the 3 Arclight Phoenixes into the graveyard, and then you can Surgical on the same turn. That's something you can do. And the Surgical is also very synergistic in this deck because you could even go Grief first, right? And then you do all the shenanigans and then Surgical their opponent's graveyard instead of Surgicaling your own Dark Ritual just to get the Phoenixes out. So that's also an option because we play 4 copies of Grief as well. So that's also sick. Other than that, I actually added another copy of Fatal Push in the sideboard. And I also went down on the copy, I went down on 2 copies of Toxic Deluge. And instead, I added 2 copies of Aatroxa just because you do have the option of running out the Aatroxas against a creature deck when you can get the Psychic Frog out and then you discard the Aatroxa, or, you know, even on turn 1 as well, you could like Dark Ritual, Buried Alive, and if you have Reanimate in your hand, right, you could even get the Aatrox out on turn 1, right? So because that option exists, I decided to put 2 copies of Aatrox in the sideboard, and I'm not quite sure about the Drown in the Lock, but I have it in there. I also put in 2 copies of Test of Talents versus Show and Tell, and I also added in 2 copies of Spell Snare because it originally had 4 copies of Spell Pierce, but Spell Snare can come in handy versus Boros Energy. So yeah, overall, pretty cool deck. I did actually see this deck a few times in the ladder, once or twice in the ladder, but they didn't do anything special, but it could also be because they also got pretty unlucky. It is running a pretty low land count deck with 18 lands, so you're going to be mulliganing a lot, like I did. And for those that don't like mulliganing, it might not be for you. So yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye-bye.